All right, it'll start similarly to last dance. Go forward and back. First corner, swing. Face in, don't try to square your sets yet. Go forward and back. Next corner, swing. Now you may square your sets. Both those swings are short, by the way. And the same thing happened as the last dance. You're across the set from your partner, and you swap roles from heads and sides. Okay? The next part of the dance is designed to get you back with your partner. Face your next corner, Alaman left, once around. Face that last corner you swung. Pull by right for a grand right and left. Keep going halfway around, 4 hands. Get to that last one you swung and ignore them. Nothing personal. But ladies, you should have your right hands free and near the center of the square. Ladies, come to the center, make a right hand star, turn it halfway. There's someone who probably asked you to dance. Swing them. In your groups of 8, go forward and stay there. Notice you've compressed your square into a large dot. If you look in your direction of progression, which is how you're facing now, you should see other squares lined up with your dot. It's easy to see at this point, okay? Here's the grid check for this particular set, dance. When you go into the middle, look past your square and make sure you're lined up, and on that forward and back, you may be able to make adjustments, okay, and keep the grid lined up. If you do, this will work just fine. If you don't, I'll know about it. And by the way, it may not be the axis you're facing, it may be the other axis. So if some people want to move you around a little bit, go with the flow. Come on back. Circle to the left, halfway around. Balance your square. With your partner, California twirl. Face a neighbor between the squares. Yes, you should be facing at the edge of the square. Just turn as a couple and face back in. You're fine there. Between the squares, this neighbor, do-si-do. And I'd recommend a back-to-back. You don't have a lot of time here. Then simply pass them by the right, move on to new squares. And that's one progression. Go forward and back and check the grid as you do. Circle to the left, halfway around. And when I say square your sets, even if it's a little discombobulated there, don't try to be perfect and assume you have to be in a particular head and side roll. Just make sure you have heads and sides, and you'll be ready to go. Balance again. With your partner, California twirl. Between the squares, do-si-do, this neighbor. And then pass them by the right, move on to new squares. And that's one time through the dance. Go forward and back. This corner, swing. Go forward and back. Next corner, swing. Square your sets. Alaman left your next corner. Come back one and pull by right, grand right and left. Lady to the center, make a right hand star, turn it halfway, swing your partner. And as they do that star, gents, you need to square them up with the 4 of you so they know if they're in heads inside position. Here we go. Go forward, check the grid, and go back. Circle left, halfway. Balance your square. California twirl. Neighbor between the squares, do-si-do. Pass them by the right, move on to new squares. Go forward and back. Circle to the left, halfway. Balance again. California twirl. This neighbor, do-si-do. Pass them by the right. You've all moved 2 times, 2 squares. You're ready to dance. Actually, everybody back to place. No, just kidding. I think that was another zip code. I don't know.